Hello my friends, welcome back. At the time of writing, when I wrote this, it was the last day of February. Personally, I've added about £800 into my net worth during February. However, I would like to discuss my financial decisions and some of how I'm feeling and how we're doing with investing. But of course, do not take anything I say within this video as financial advice. I'm personally saying what I'm personally doing and talking about the risks that I do understand and the fact there is risks there, and I'm simply sharing my own views, actions and feelings during this video. For those who are interested in what I've done, you can see the following list. So I've put some money into Netflix for the main two reasons. I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below if you do disagree, but there is a kind of migration from what I've seen from mainstream television going directly onto Netflix. So this is your reality TV shows, your TV dramas, your TV films, and also it's still one of the largest social streaming platforms. It is still one of the largest streaming platforms in regards to global viewership as a whole. Now we'll see how the fund, and as you'll sort of see from the stuff I'm going to put on screen, hasn't been a very good month during February. We had a bit of a crypto crash. The market was down overall, so I think I've actually lost money, but it doesn't matter because of the system we're using, which we'll go into in a moment. It allows me to keep going regardless of what happens, whether I gain or not, because everything I'm doing is designed for long-term growth rather than the short-term of maybe say day trading, for example, that is very you could be described as closer to the gambling side of things. So keep that in mind moving forward. I also moved some miscellaneous funds that were sat in my UK and US mix pie stocks, and I think it was about 20 quid or so. I moved that into Procter and Gamble, which I believe will grow in the long term as well, because I've seen their performance be pretty good. I believe when I last looked towards the end of February, it was around 5% growth or so, so that's great. For those who maybe haven't caught previous videos, this is the first finance video you are looking at. Personally, what I'm doing at the moment is I am putting 20% of all of what I'm making per invoice into investments, with 30% into savings until I have a level of a full funded emergency fund. So for me, that's going to be 6 months worth of living expenses. So that means I have a 20% that goes straight into a savings account, just general bog standard savings account that I'm using at the moment for driving lessons, any unexpected bills or larger bills in the business that I'm not planning for, and then 10% into a cash ISA that I'm basically just putting there and trying to forget that. So currently has been updated at the time of recording anyway, from a 4.9% down to a 4.5% because of the Bank of England base rate going down. So Trading 212, which is the brokerage that I'm using, but other brokerages of course are available, have dropped that by 0.4%, which doesn't really matter to me because the amount of the smaller amount that I have in that respect, and you only gain 4%, but it is money that you don't have to work for and is for free, and of course in a tax-free wrapper. And then, as I said, overall 30% into savings, with 20% being into investments that I'm using my stocks and shares ISA for. So 10% of every invoice goes into that, and then I spread it across my two pies. So I have an ETF pie that I'll leave down in the description down below, along with my UK and US mix in that respect as well. And then I have 10% into a crypto portfolio and a crypto asset portfolio that's mostly spread between Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solar at the moment, and I'm monitoring those. And as you may know at the time of recording, if those who look at the crypto market, it royally crashed in the last couple of weeks, so that's been fun. In regards to my all kind of question, I think I had a question about whether I should continue with crypto. I'll be very honest, and I think the point of these videos is to document how I feel, and sort of what my questions are and what I'm planning for in that respect. And for me, I think it's one of those things where I had like in the first week when I put crypto in, it was up by a bit, which was great, fantastic, and then it's done nothing but drop, so I'm still down in regards to my overall investment. But the thing is, I think it's one of those things where you whether you're skeptical, and it also, I think, is tied to the content you're consuming. So if you're consuming content that's pro crypto, then you'll be like hyped up for crypto and etc. And I think you should always go forward with your knowledge when it comes to especially what you're invested in and things that you should be doing. And it doesn't mean that just because this is what I'm doing at the moment, if my circumstances change or my cash flow changes or etc. And in that respect as well, I am in a position where I need to tweak what percentages I'm putting in, or maybe not put any in at all for a couple of months, then of course I will be sharing that and why in that respect within reason. But also I think it's one of those things where you've got a back plan, and I think for me, I've been reading The Trading Game specifically as well, and one of the things that sort of pushed me, so wrongly or rightly you could say, to continue with the crypto part of the plan even though the market was down, was that a quote that was something along the lines of investors back themselves. So I have a plan and I haven't really stuck to this plan so far. We've only just seen, it's only the start of the year. I've only been doing it a couple of months. So, of course, I'm not going to see a return. And of course, I need to be able to, watch those ebbs and flows. And I just think I need to, in some ways, trust in what's going to happen. And if it does go to zero, it does go to zero. That's a learning lesson. But of course, one of these things you need to consider is only put money in that you're willing to lose. Your investment can go up, down, and sideways. But I think for me, it's one of those things that as I, in some ways, there's a lot of skepticism, especially about crypto, and there's a lot of conversation, but only whether you think it's going to be a quote bet for the future in regards to it going up in value. And there's been a lot of conversation from a lot of channels that are a lot more qualified than me, so I'll leave some resources down below for those who are interested, but I won't be talking about those specifically. But that's what's been happening in crypto specifically, and then, as I said, consistently focusing on what I'm doing and the plan that I've built, and seeing how overall in most cases that will continue to go. So and the other things to consider, or the other things to be aware of, is I personally don't have an issue with using zero credit, so to borrowing money or keeping some level of debt. So I do have, I think it's at the moment about £1,100 worth of debt on this camera that you're looking at the moment, which is the Nikon Z6 Mark III, and that was done deliberately to protect my cash flow in that respect. I actually have more than enough cash to be able to pay this camera off if I wish to, but I was able to get it on 0% finance, so it doesn't cost me anything. I can spread those payments, obviously, of course. And the other thing that is coming up, which a lot of businesses will be very aware of, is that it's going to be April, so there'll be a new tax year rather soon. My plan for this year, after a quite troubling or quite difficult 2024, is I found it was quite hard, it was quite difficult at the start of the year, so I've managed to put financial position, in a very stronger financial position this year. So I'm going to hopefully continue to do that by looking to pay off that tax bill as soon as it comes in, ideally. So I'm putting some money aside and thinking about that, so that might slow down what I can put in regards to investments come April, because I'm trying to keep my debt level where it is. So basically it's only on this camera, and then my plan potentially is either stay debt free at that point, or potentially then use it as another upgrade path into potentially another camera if there's warrant, or if there's need for that in regards to the business as well. But of course I would like, after my emergency fund and driving is done, to be able to also purchase a handful of lenses, and there's always something else you can buy in that respect as well when it comes to businesses as well. So, as I said, in hindsight, it's about, or in kind of review on this month, it's about keeping consistent. Of course, I updated my numbers on my net value spreadsheet, and so that was great to see. And if you're not using those, then do think about creating one. They're quite simple to do. Personally, on mine, I have like income, I have my bank account balances. I do that towards the end of the start of the month, or the first of the month. I did it, I think, on the 25th this month. And then you can also look at your stocks and shares ISA, what that's valued at, where your stocks are, etc., and then see what you've deposited versus what it's valued at, so you can see and sort of understand where the market is. in that respect as well, and also see when you make gains, is it just the illusion of making gains, or is it actually making gains in correspondence to what you put in as well. So that is going to wrap up this investment update for February. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me. If you did enjoy this video and would like to see next month where I talk about what happened in March that obviously hasn't happened yet, then I will be sure to update you as well. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me, and be sure to be subscribed to the channel if you want to see some new content related to how to grow a videography business, how to continue to serve clients better regarding social media, and then of course what's going on with my own personal investing journey as well. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me, and I'll see you very, very soon.